Indeed, last time on the Minish Cap we obtained the first element. We're already the fourth of the way done, so we're making good time. So we got nowhere else to go but the Minish Village because, well, we'll drown if we go the other way. Humans are amazing creatures. I bet they can even keep their glasses on correctly. But yeah, the game is pretty heavy-handed in telling you, yeah, go back to the Elder. There's nothing else you can do but that. Can't really backtrack out of Minish Woods for reasons. So let's just see what the Elder's got to say, because we still need to figure out how to reforge the sword. Okay, but is there anyone closer? Like, not on top of a mountain? Unfortunately, no. He is the only person there is that we can go to fix the sword, so we got a long journey ahead of us. In your debt. We never could have opened those curtains ourselves. Alright, well, let's get out of here. So, now we're kind of free-ish, sort of, not really. Actually, before we get to there even, we do have to talk to this Minish right here. It travels fast. We just did that, like, a minute ago. How are there so many tails? Yeah, we just left the dungeon and already word has spread all over the Minish world that we are super great and awesome and stuff, despite the fact that they're so tiny. But thankfully, this guy gives us a bomb bag, which we're definitely gonna need. Don't need to find it in a dungeon or anything, we just get it right here. Unfortunately, we only start with 10 bombs, and that's not a lot of bombs. Still though, we do need these in order to progress, so I'm gonna take them even if it is a small bomb bag. Oh hey, look at that. We don't use bombs on that thing over there. We just go over here and inspect this little thing that kinda looks like a tombstone. What is it? Well, maybe Eslo knows. That's something you're familiar with, right? Alright, what is it? What is it? Come on. Why do I even keep you around? Other than the fact that you keep my head nice and warm. So that's not going to come into play for a little while, but nonetheless you should be inspecting those so they'll explode, because we do want those ready. Anything up here? Nothing we can access because in order to get over here as a Minish, we'd have to swim, and we can't swim through shallow water. So, place a bomb, blow up those blocks. That's their way of making sure you get the bomb bag before you leave, because we've got a few things we need to bomb. Not that many, actually. There isn't that much stuff that really got opened up after that dungeon, but hey, there's at least a little bit that we can explore. For example, let's check out what's over here. First of all, shortcut. I'll always make a shortcut. Gotta have that shortcut. And I don't want to turn tiny just yet, because then that might despawn my bomb, and I do not want to waste these. Oh, and don't worry, you can just skip that by pressing A or R. You don't have to watch the animation all the time, that would just be annoying, and... No, I don't know what a Kinstone piece. Please don't tell me. I don't want to know, I'm never going to come back to see you. Alright, well, let's just ignore what he said and see what we can explore around Hyrule Field and see if there's anything interesting. Like, oh, there's a bombable wall over there. That's cool, that's cool. And there's another one of those guys. Those guys like to blend in with various things that you can pick up or stab. Usually pick up, though. But yeah, they can hide in the grass. They're kind of annoying like that, so always check with your sword first. I mean, really, you should be stabbing grass in general, but, you know, just stab it just in case, because now there are enemies inside of them. Start your shells. Again, want as many of those as possible. Good thing we can kind of hoard them early on. Just kind of make sure to keep track of how many shells you have, because 999 is the max, and while that is a lot, you don't really want to waste any of these shells. Because trust me, you'll need a lot of them. So these guys are kind of similar to the mushrooms in that there aren't that many ways of actually killing them without the gust jar. But they're easy enough anyway. I think they're supposed to be pea-hats. Pea-hats look different all the time, so I can never quite tell, but I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be them. But yeah, it's fairly easy to kill them there, because there's not really much in the way of obstacles, you got plenty of space, and it's kinda obvious since the gust jar is really one of the only items we picked up, and bombs probably aren't going to do anything to a thing that flies. I mean, you can try, but it's gonna miss. More of these things, and oh, guess what? If we go over here... Yep! These guys just serve to get in our way again. We can't actually go back to Long Lawn Ranch. Thanks, Mudo. You know, you could just move to the right or left, right, dude? Come on. Yeah, we can't go back, because God forbid we backtrack. There's not even that much that I think we can do up north. Can't remember off the top of my head, but there's really not much up there, and yet they block it off anyway. Oh well, I guess we'll just progress through the game. Actually, since we're in South Hyrule Field, we could go right back to town, but why don't we check out our house first? I mean, we have been gone from home for a while, so, you know, let's just go back to our house. But first, another one of these weird statue thingamajigs. Blah blah blah, yada yada yada, explode. And Eslo still doesn't even know what's up with these things. Alright, well, again, always make sure to activate those. They're gonna be pretty helpful later on. And yeah, the only thing stopping us earlier from coming over here was those little stumps right there. But hey, now we can go back to our house, so everything's good. Rent, Eslo. How much money you making as a hat? Hey, Dad, Grandpa, Dadpa, whatever you are. It's already finished. I just hate the guy I'm making it for, so I'm hitting it a bunch of times so it breaks on him at the worst moments. So yeah, he's not really gonna do much. I think he's kind of... like, he'll tell you the general direction of where you need to go, or something like that. He will give you a bit of advice, but all in all, he's really not that helpful. Oh, look at that sparkly tree. Shiny. Well, certainly there's nothing we can do with that, so let's just ignore it and it's never going to be important. By which I mean, of course it will be, we just don't have the item we need for it at the moment. Alright, anything else we can explore? I don't want to go back to town yet. Please don't make me go back to town. I don't want to. Well, we can kill Octrox. Like, look, now I have to enact terrible vengeance on that guy for hitting me from off-screen. Yep, that's something we can do before we go back to town. And hey, there's stuff to our left that we can do now, right? Look, there's a bombable wall. That's pretty darn helpful. We have bombs now, so we can take care of that, right? Let's just get these in, place those down, and see what's in there. Let's just explore. I don't want to go back to town. Oh, look, fairies. Da-na-na-na, we can eat this fairy now. Those will restore quite a bit of your health. They do have another use, which you probably already know if you know Zelda games, but we can't actually access that function just yet, because we don't have a certain item, so all we can do with fairies is just basic healing. Oh, just puddles down there, nothing to explore, and we can't go through here because there's a hole. Excuse me? But and then we move and walk out of there because I'm just so insulted. Alright, well, it's time to go back to Hyrule Town. Oh boy. Oh, look, there's a dude coming. Let's just go the other way. Let's just leave. Let's not hang around. No, please. Oh god, no, they've surrounded me. No, please. Don't do this to me. I don't want to. Can I pass this up, please? Please don't do this to me. Look, I'll do anything but Kinstones. No, I'm not. Just don't even do it. I'm not a kid. I'm actually quite old. You don't know. Oh god, no, please. No. Look, what have I done to you, man? I've done nothing. You shouldn't have anything against me. It sure is. Don't. Please. Look, anything. I'll buy you... I don't know. I can buy a lot of things. I have 100 rupees. Please? Yes, I caught it. Don't tell it to me again. Please let me out. No, it's not. I don't. Why are you doing this to me? How could you be so cruel? Alright, the pact is sealed. We have fused Kinstones. And now, a little door opens up there. How great, right? We unlocked a thing in a Zelda game. That's the goal of every Zelda game, right? Yep, I disagree with that. Can't believe they'd just stand around me and keep me in place. So, this is Kinstone Fusion, easily the worst part of Minish Cap. People all over the world have Kinstone Fusions. There are 3 different types of Kinstones, green which are the most common, blue which are a bit more rare, and red which are fairly uncommon. Though if you don't cut down grass constantly, green Kinstones are actually pretty rare on their own. You can find blue and red Kinstones in chests. I'll explain Kinstone Fusions a bit more later, but I don't think we're really going to be doing too many right now. Because, well, we don't have many Kinstones. We have the Kinstone Bag, but thankfully at the moment we don't really have to worry about fusing Kinstones, but trust me, excuse me, you will have to worry about fusing Kinstones later. Try to stay on top of it, and honestly, keep a list of who you fuse with, and look up online who you can fuse with. Because it's gonna get kind of confusing, and you might lose track of who you do need to fuse with, and it's very annoying to keep up with it if you lose track. Wow, thanks for that advice. She had the dramatic turn just for nothing. Yeah, there sure are a whole lot of people who will fuse Kinstones. Oh boy, it's just so exciting. I look forward to all the Kinstone fusions that I can do. You can just hear the excitement in my voice. So, shop here. See that little bag in the corner? Yeah, we definitely want to take that. Get this bag, give it to him. It is 80 rupees, but now we can hold more rupees. I think you can hold 500 rupees now. I think that's the number. It's either 300 or 500, but 500 sounds correct. Well, if the house is empty, that just means we can't go in there now. I mean, if there's no one in there, then there's no one to mind us going in. But we can't, so we're going to do this minigame instead. We got a certain amount of time to pick up cuckoos and take them back to this lady. There are actually a lot of different challenges here. I don't actually remember the number off the top of my head, but there are quite a few, and these do actually get pretty difficult later on. But this one's fairly easy. We've already completed it. Not even going to bother finding other cuckoos. I'm not going to do all of these at once just because there's so many, and again, they do get pretty difficult, and in fact, I think some of them are outright impossible for at least a little while. So I'm not really going to focus on that until I get a certain item, or items, I don't know, I'll do it when I feel like it. Isn't that great? Aw, kitty. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Well, nothing really too important here. You might notice a few things that might be important for a Minish, but nothing we can really handle at the moment. I forget these two guys' names off the top of my head, but they're something like a variation on Romeo and Juliet's. And coincidentally, they both have siblings of the opposite gender who are at school. No, it's not each other, because that would just be kind of weird. You do realize the guy who won that thing is evil, right? Turned the princess to stone, kind of a danger to everyone. Also, that's the inn that's not open right now. That's not a very good inn if it's closed during the day. There is a whole lot of stuff here that's just plain not open just yet, so while we can go back to town, there's not really much for us to do. We can suck up this dust here, though. That'll come into play later. Can't go in here because that's locked, and it's going to be locked for a fairly long time. This is locked. Don't even remember when this is open. This guy can use Kinstones, but I can't do that at the moment. And, oh, the shoe store is open, thank goodness. Can't even do anything in here. Yeah, you just keep telling yourself that. Maybe it's because you're the only person in town that makes shoes, I don't know. Eenie and Meanie are two characters we haven't met, but they're not really important. They're back at that house that was empty that I mentioned earlier. They work on the fields out there. We can't actually go in here and buy some bread. If they give 3 samples, I'm taking them for myself. Because, this bread actually looks kind of good for being pixels. And that guy is super dedicated, so I'm not going to bother him. Expensive, unfortunately. Basically, it goes in order of expensiveness. The bread to the left is the least expensive, the bread to the right is the most expensive. They all have a chance of dropping a Kinstone. Otherwise, it's just delicious bread, which is kind of pointless for you, the player, because you can't taste it. But hey, Doylon's happy since he can have bread. And again, another thing we won't really be able to do for a while. He kind of pushed me there. Do you think the mayor's doing a good job? I'm just gonna put you in the corner. You're gonna say the mayor's gonna do a good job, or I'm gonna do something to you. I don't know. I'm just an old man. Usually. But not this one. So, her name's Hagen. Any relation whatsoever to Hager? Like, can you suplex crime? Because I bet he can't, just because apparently he's not really that useful. I mean, that old man likes him, but it's kind of implied he doesn't really do much, so I guess we can't get him to suplex body for us. Would be pretty good, though. Just have him go out and suplex the fuck out of that wizard guy. They confuse Kinstones with him. You know, if he just went to his left and down that ladder, he could have used a Kinstone himself, but now apparently he's too lazy for that as well. Oh, watch this, you can see the little grass around there change. Oh, it's changing color. Look at that animation. That's some, stellar animation there. Oh, look, a thing opened up in an area we can't even go to. Well, this has been worth my time. Alright, anyway, what else can we do in town? I am legitimately drawing a blank here. I mean, I know of one thing that we have to do. Oh, I already talked to you. But there are a bunch more closed things, like this library, which isn't open yet either, and this dude won't let you go to the north because they're working. So we can't go that way, the school's closed. What about the mailroom? I think that's open, but we can't do anything. Yep, this dude's just here, stamping an infinite amount of letters. This must be some sort of miniature purgatory for him, I think. So that guy will let us through, but we need to know a few things. What kind of things? Well, maybe this guy is telling us something we need to know. Yep, sure can. Okay, take note of that guy. His Kinstone Fusion is very important. Obviously I can't handle it now, but we're going to want to do that one as soon as we can. Yep, we need to know some sword techniques. You mean there's something we can learn other than just rapid slashing? I don't know if I can really believe that. Well, we can thankfully learn a new technique right over here. And I don't think there's anything else. Well, we can try this back entrance, which is just here to taunt us with this stuff. Look at that, we got a little music box, some treasure chests, and a heart piece. And we won't be able to open that one for quite a while. That's just mean, to be honest. It's not just closed, it's closed, but you can see what's inside for the most part. So this is Swiftblade. From time to time, he'll have new techniques that you can learn. I would like to train here, because otherwise I can't progress through the game. I wouldn't really call the spin attack the most basic technique. I mean, again, the most basic technique is just flinging my sword everywhere. Just flail it around randomly. It works. But we do get our spin attack fairly early on, which I don't really find too useful in this game. I mean, your sword range is kind of limited. I generally find it's better in the 3D games, but here it's good for cutting grass at least. And he's gonna show you the technique once. It's not really useful because he tells you what buttons you need, but then he shows you how to do it, but I mean, I guess it's kind of useful just so you know that the little sparkle has to come to the front of the sword first, but it doesn't tell you what buttons you need here. Would be good if he just possessed you and then you got a little button prompt. That would make this thing a whole lot swifter, you could probably say. And in the end, he just gives you a tiger scroll so you can see what the technique is on your own. Of course, the spin attack is fairly simple, so I'm not going to forget it. Well, that's all we can learn from him for now, so go back. I wonder if we're going to get a new sword soon, I said, already knowing that we are going to be getting a new sword fairly soon. But yes, now that we have that technique, we can go show off that guard. He's gonna go over to him and I'm gonna show that spin attack right to his dumb guard face. Hey, guard! Yeah, I have. And yeah, it forces you to know it one more time. Again, it's really not terribly useful because the range is small, and honestly, just rapidly tapping the button is just so much more useful. And we find ourselves in a new area. There are a few things we can explore, but for the most part, we're just going to be going to Mount Krenel in the next part. There are a whole lot of rocks, but I'm not going to bother lifting them all up. They might have things inside them, but I'd really rather not pick them all up. Maybe. I don't know, I might. I mean, they have stuff inside of them, so I could try. Let's see, I believe this guy is a bomb salesman, right? He's one of two things. So, in here we got another one of these guys. We already know what to do with them. Just reflect the receipts back at him. Oh, no, he sells us our first bottle. It was either that or bombs. So we got an empty bottle. This is a necessary item. You do actually need this to progress, and I am going to say I want to find a source of water with this bottle. Because, just telling you ahead of time, we're going to need that. So let's see. Nothing under these rocks. And, see, this would be useful if I got a green Kinstone piece, because I believe upturning rocks will give you a green Kinstone piece. Grass is a bit better, though, since you can just cut it up for something. Take that, side attack! That didn't even... Oh, wait, no, it did do something neat. I killed the thing with a sign. So there's not really much to explore over here, because if we enter this oh wait, no, this isn't even it. I'm thinking of the wrong thing. But, again, there's not much to explore here. Yep, nothing. Just want to make sure we have everything in mind. There's that little hole there. We might be able to do something about that later. It's going to be a long time since we can do anything with that weird thing in the wall. It's kind of a... I don't really know how to describe those weird entrances, but they're not bombable. But anyway, there's not really much to explore here, so next time on Zelda the Minish Cap, we climb Mount Krenel.